And in game number 2 of this year's Little League World Series, Texas leading at 8-0. Want to remind you the race to the chase heats up. NASCAR Sprint Cup Series heads to Bristol tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern on ABC. With just 3 races to go until NASCAR's playoffs begin, it is now desperation time for Martin Martin. He sits 35 points back of the 12th and final chase spot. Coverage begins with NASCAR Countdown at 7 Eastern.
You got an afternoon to spend. You got to watch the NASCAR.
Well, I think you ought to be out there. Clearly, you're a driver of some renown. Good idea to have a little parasol going here today, and also a good idea if you're going to be coming up. Make sure you bring a lot of lotion with you to put on, and sunblock, and enjoy the day. Lucas Wenzel will lead it off. On the mound, Mason Van Noort has walked 1 and struck out 5 now. A big start for Texas with the 8-0 lead as we go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Wenzel, he turned 13 yesterday. He'll take that pitch, and it's in there for a strike.
These young men can turn 13 as long as it's before May 1st, 2010. And as long as their 11th birthday before April 30th, 2010, they're eligible.
Showed bunt. Will take the pitch away. He said the person he'd most like to meet is Brett Favre. Well, you better hurry because Brett... Oh, wait a minute.
He's in there still.
Oh, sorry.
He's back. He's good. Sure. You'll get more time someday when he retires to meet him. He's busy right now.
That one at second is knocked down. And a good play made by Gutierrez. Second base, you can do that at any level. If you can get to it and knock it down, you've got that short throwing distance, so you do that, you get it out.
And one of the benefits of playing the right side of the infield is you've got a chance to bobble and get the throw over there, and when you know that, you get in front of it, you drop down to your knees, you block the ball, and you play it that way because you have that extra step over there on the right side. At shortstop, at third base, no chance. Second base, you get them out.
So here again we see the pitcher has got a no-hitter going, but he's thrown 34 pitches. So by taking him out here, he only needs 1 calendar day rest. That means you got a chance to use him again more quickly than normal. So again, all of this decisions made by the managers. He's looking, he's going, look, I got an 8-0 lead. I got a good pitcher on the mound who's performing well. I want to keep him available. If I pull him out here, all I've got to do is rest him 1 day.
And if I happen to lose game 2, I'll have him back for game 3. Used to have to read these rules as far as days and also games. Now it is strictly about days and pitches. And it really clears up some of the gray areas. Gary and I would look at the rules and go, Little League's trying, they're doing a great job, but we have more categories where at about 10 to 15 pitch increments, you need that extra day rest. And now it's kind of the equivalent of big league rest. What a big league pitching coach and manager looks at when a guy gets to about 66 pitches, they think about needing 3 or 4 days off, even at the big league level.
So we will get a new pitcher here as Jaron Robler will come on. The 12-year-old will take over on the mound. He had been playing originally over at first base. And he will start it out with a strike. Gabe Gower getting his first at bat for Minnesota. 12-year-old batting in the 9 spot and doing the catching. Gower will take that one inside. Nope, that hit him. It was a little more than inside, so Gower is on, hit by a pitch with 1 down here in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, you come in the game and you spin a little breaking ball, maybe caresses the jersey of the inside, blousing of the jersey as it comes away from your body. It doesn't hurt too much, but you get to become the first base coach. Take a look here, see the ball spinning, coming in there, and I can't tell from that angle.
Umpire made the call. Now the coach who was down there will become the base runner at first base, our special pinch runner. Foul back, top of the order. This is Josh Thorpe. He was a strikeout victim his first time up.
I kind of like that when a manager thinks ahead and puts the special pinch runner as the first base coach. It really speeds up the game. Instead of waiting for the announcement, report to the umpire, the little boy comes out of the dugout. It keeps the game moving when all of a sudden it's just a coach and they just switch places.
And it keeps kids involved in the game. The kids love to coach at first base. Now we're going to get a change of coaches.
Yeah, let the kids. Well, let the kids participate. Well, you can't special pinch run again this inning. You can only do it once an inning, and you can only do it once for the same player throughout the game. But he's keeping kids involved. That's probably somebody that isn't playing right now. We get the kid that's still playing to come in and rest, get a drink of water, and let's get us a fresh coach. And I didn't know I was coming out of it. I got to get my legs ready. I got to get my pants ready. Mom might be looking.
And that is swung out and missed. So the strikeout, Josh Thorpe, has gone down swinging twice. And there are 2 away. Little League World Series presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes continues tonight, ESPN 2 at 6 Eastern. It'll be Puerto Rico taking on Germany. And at 8 o'clock, Japan faces Mexico. A rebattle of a showdown a couple of years ago. Japan and Mexico. With some memories about competitions between those two countries.
That's a big game, and there's always a little extra energy when Mexico plays Japan. There's the cultures that are built on tradition, and they remember those games. And the managers are trying to downplay the significance of that game, but I'll tell you what, the players, the little guys watch it on ESPN. They know about the history of that rivalry, and they are going to be up for it.
Jag McDonough will take the pitch down low. Runner will stay. Throw will go through anyway, but Verbaeten did not run. Mitchell Verbaeten, who's the special runner at first base, not quite sure where that ball had gone. Started, and then when he couldn't see it, decided better of it. And a good idea here, obviously, is Minnesota needs to get some runs. 2 down and 1 on. They're still looking for their first hit in the ball game. As they've had the base runners via the walks, there have been 2 of those in the ball game. McDonough family on hand watching. Jack grounded out to second base first time up, and he'll foul that one the other way, holding the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
This Minnesota team does not have a lot of big boppers. They don't have the ace arm. They're a team that grinds it out. Their hitting style is line drives and plate discipline. You think about Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau, the way that Minnesota Twin team grinds it out to try and portray their role models.
And they didn't have a lot to choose from. There were only 24 12-year-old players available to select from for this team. And this Little League program, it's just the 7th year that Plymouth New Hope has been affiliated with Little League Baseball, so relatively young in age.
And then after summer plans of parents saying, I'm not sure we can make that commitment with our youngster, they lost another 5 or 6 before they even could start selecting the team. So these kids have really come a long way for a very small population of kids to select from. Talk about townships of, large populations that come in here and awesome all-star teams. And these guys from a little small area, maybe 19 kids.
Let's listen in here.
Okay, are you all right? You sure?
Sure.
You want to throw?
Sure.
You don't have to throw right now. Tell me if there's nothing wrong with it if you don't want to. Okay, can you throw strikes? Just keep it down. Okay, it's a good pitch. Keep doing what you're doing. All right? Okay, we're working on it. We're going to keep doing what you're doing. We're going to throw strikes. We're going to make a play behind you. All right, baby? Stay in here. Let's go. Hey, make sure everybody knows what we got. Short bag.
Orlando, the Texas manager, quietly going over the situation with Robler as coach.
Well, not only being sensitive to the young man's arm, your arm feels okay, yeah, but how about your psyche? We're up 8-0. If you don't really feel like you're into this game and don't want to be out here, we can go with somebody else. The young man said, no, I want to be out here.
11 years managing. That ball's going to get away on a wild pitch. The runners are going to move up. This is really important here for Minnesota. A 10-run rule comes into play in the 4th inning. We are in the 3rd. And Texas, the way they've been scoring, guaranteed they're going to put some more on the board. So for Minnesota, it's important to cut into this 8-0 lead so they can continue, give themselves a longer chance. 2 in scoring position. There are 2 down. This has been their leading offensive player. Taylor Bluston at the plate drew a walk his first time up. Robler on in relief, trying to get the third out here. And that is on the outside corner for strike 2 and 1. Throw down, runner back. Gabe Gower is the second runner at second base. Jack McDonough's over at third.
In Little League Baseball, you're allowed to dive back to a base, but you cannot dive going forward into a base.
Foul tip.
So if you see a pickoff play like that, where the runner who's not allowed to leave the base until the ball crosses the batter, but then he takes his secondary lead, and you see a catcher try to pick off, and you see a young man dive back into the base, he'll be fine. He can get back safely, but he cannot dive going forward into a base. And Little League Baseball has found that has really prevented a lot of finger and hand injuries over the years.
Can't leave that base till the ball gets to the batter. Arno leads. Foul back. We don't see many stolen bases in the Little League World Series. Pass balls, wild pitches will move runners up, but rarely does a runner actually take off, which is a credit to the catchers, really, as they've been able to come through with really good catchers. You got to wait till that ball gets up there. Good stop made right there to hold the runner at third base.
Well, during the regular season, before they get to all-star play, you'll see delayed steals. You'll see some of the faster young men steal on some of the weaker-armed catchers in the league. But as you get to all-star play and you move out of your district, the abilities of the pitchers, the catchers, the shortstop, second basemen to handle the ball and get it around the infield quicker, it really cuts the running game almost nothing.
And that is going to load the bases up. So Minnesota's chance, all coming on walks here. There have been 3 of them issued. And now we'll see whether or not Minnesota can take advantage of it and get themselves a base hit. Base hit will put them on the board. They do not have a run. They have not picked up a hit yet. The cleanup batter, Nick Toole, is at the plate. Toole struck out his first time up. Home run, 3 RBIs in the regionals. Trying to figure out the home plate umpire is as to exactly who is supposed to be up here. As far as the lineup card that the umpires got at the moment, and that's what's an issue.
That's what they go to do.
Nick Toole is standing at the plate.
Might have a wrong hitter at the plate.
This happens because of substitutions to get players in defensively. And then remember, we told you they've got to play 3 outs and they've got to get an at-bat. Sometimes the players will simply forget. This was a defensive replacement in the last inning who has not had an at-bat. So James Ripley, who came on as a defensive player, will have to get his at-bat here. He's due up. And that's why he now comes to the plate. You almost have to have a technical manager in the dugout because it's really hard. And the Little League officials who work directly behind home plate, they assist as much as possible. There's no trickery involved here. It's everybody's trying to get it right. So if you notice that there's a problem, it's noted to the manager and the players, and try and get the right kids where they're supposed to be. Ripley with the bases loaded, 2 down, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
And they're really on high alert in the 3rd inning because Little League suggests to the managers that they try and get all of their substitutions done by the 3rd inning. And here we are in the 3rd, and
they're getting their players in.
Yeah, the kids that have to play 3 defensive outs and also get 1 at bat. So everybody participates, and I think it's a great rule. I mean, if you're going to commit a summer to baseball and come out to all the practices, you should get in every game.
2-1 delivery on the way. Ripley's trying to do what he did in the state championships, and that's get a big blow. He had the walk-off home run that won the state championship for this team. Bottom of the 6th inning, capped a 4-run comeback in the state championship game. 2-2 delivery. Ripley will take it outside. So here it is. I mean, this ball game right now is on the line, and this at bat. 3-2, 2 down, 8-0 lead for Texas. Minnesota at the plate. They've got the bases loaded. They're after their first hit. And Ripley